So what is second approach is synchronized block. Synchronized block. Second approach is synchronized block. Synchronized block, or we'll call it as synchronized object. We call it a synchronized object or synchronized block. So what is the main purpose of this one is, so we are going to synchronize a particular block of code. Okay. It takes parameter. What parameter I'll tell you later, we'll discuss. So it is going to synchronize a particular block of code. Instead of synchronizing the whole method, it is going to synchronize a particular block of code. So what is the main thing is, so first, what is the main purpose of this one is, first purpose is, suppose you have a method, suppose you take the same display method. It is having many number of lines of code, many lines of code are there, but only 3 lines are to be synchronized. Only 3 lines are to be synchronized. Rest of the lines you synchronize or don't synchronize, no issues. So when you don't have any issues with the lines getting synchronized, why you should unnecessarily synchronize? If you synchronize the whole method, if you use the first approach, you have to synchronize the whole method. Then what happens? Your performance is going to reduce. So then what we do is, these statements need not be synchronized. So those statements you need not synchronize. Then what we do is, we put this block of code inside the synchronized block. Only those set of lines which needs synchronization, that you are going to put inside of the synchronized block. If you use synchronized block, the performance is going to improve than your synchronized keyword. So this is one usage. The second one is, see, why we are going for synchronized? When the threads are accessing a shared resource. Okay, the resource can be object or method, whatever you are doing. So now, if that method definition is in your hands, it is a method which you have defined, you are able to write the synchronized keyword before the method, because you are the one who wrote the definition for display. But if your threads are accessing a method which is already existing in Java, or someone has defined that method, you don't have the definition, you are just accessing that method. You are just accessing that method by calling that method. Then how we are going to synchronize? So then you will be using synchronized block or synchronized object. What we do is, whenever you are calling that method, we synchronize the object through which you are calling. How you synchronize the object means, the object that calls the method you will put inside of the synchronized block. The object which calls that method you are going to put in the synchronized block. See, for example, you say you are using nextLine or nextInt method. Your scanner class methods you are using frequently. Suppose 2 threads are accessing this. Okay, I want to put it in a consistent state. I cannot go to nextLine method which is already defined in Java code, and I cannot put a synchronized keyword before the method next. It is not possible, because it is defined by someone else. When you are accessing when your threads are accessing a method which is defined by someone else, there is no possibility of you putting a synchronized keyword before it. So that's why what we do is, we use a synchronized block or synchronized keyword, such that what happens is, whenever you are calling that method through the object, that object gets synchronized. So that is the main 2 purposes of synchronized block. That is, whenever you want to synchronize only a part of code, not the whole code. Whenever you want to synchronize a part of code, then you are going to use a synchronized block. There are 3 different ways in which you can use a synchronized block. So the first one is to synchronize the current object. What is that you do is, synchronized of this. Synchronize of this. So this says current keyword. Okay. So all the set of lines which are inside of this are synchronized. So now, to get access to these lines, a thread must get lock on the current object. So to get access to these lines of code, a thread should acquire lock on current object. If you are getting the current object only, you can access this. If you are not able to get the current object, someone else is using the current object, you cannot enter into it. So that is called first one, where you are going to use the, you are going to synchronize the current object. You are going to synchronize the current object. Is that right? Second option is, second one is to synchronize or to get this, to synchronize the particular object. Suppose say the object name is, say the name is obj. Okay, for example, I am taking the object name as obj. So now what is that I will do? Synchronize. Here I have to specify the object name. So class name, object name, class name, object name. I am simply writing the object name. So now these are the lines which are getting synchronized. So now these set of lines can be accessed by an object to get access to these lines. So thread must acquire lock on obj. It should acquire lock on this object. Whenever it acquires the lock on this object, then only it can enter into this. Whenever it acquires a lock on this object, then only it can enter into it. Then only it can enter into this one. So that is the second case. So here you are synchronizing the current object. Here you are synchronizing a particular specific object. Suppose sample S1. I want to synchronize S1. So that is the second case. Okay. Third case is to synchronize a particular class. Okay, so you have seen we got a problem there. What is the problem that we got? So previously I showed you in the synchronized approach, if you are using two different objects also, you are getting inconsistent data. Why? Because you are putting lock on only the object, but the class is free. So now here you are going to put a lock on the class. There are two types of locks in Java. One is object lock, another one is class lock. So object lock we have discussed. That's what happened previously. So this is the approach where you are going to have class lock. So class name dot class you have to give. Suppose I'll take a sample class. Class name is suppose sample, for example. So how I have to give? Sample dot class. Okay, sample dot class. So now what happens is, so to access this lines of code, the thread must acquire what lock? Class lock. It should lock the class. It should lock the class that you have specified here. Once it locks the class, only it can enter into this particular block of code. It can execute this block of code. So these are the three usages of synchronized block or synchronized object. I'll show you an example of synchronized object. Then there may be so many lines. Okay, but I want to synchronize only this. So what I do is synchronized of this. I synchronize the current object. Synchronize the current object only till for loop code I'm going to synchronize. So you can see okay, so now you can see that you are going to get consistent data because I am using a synchronized block. So whenever I use a synchronized block, then also I'll get the consistent data. The main advantage is this function may have 1000 lines of code, But those lines which needs synchronization, then that only I need to do it. Other things I need not synchronize. I need not synchronized. Is that right? So this is about synchronized. That is called static synchronization. Static synchronization. Okay, static synchronization is what that you are doing. Okay, that is suppose you have some class A. Okay, so static synchronization, what happens is class lock is acquired. Okay, if you are having a static members, so static members are not linked with object, then what happens? Then your resource may enter into inconsistent state. Whenever you are having a static members, when the static member is accessed by two or more threads, that static member, that static method may go into inconsistent state. The data inside of that static method may go into inconsistent state. So since it's a static method, if you are using object synchronization, it does not work for you. So what is that we do is we are going to use static synchronization, where static synchronization class lock is acquired. Okay, the last usage of static block, that is, what is that we are doing? Class we are synchronizing. The same thing here, the same concept only, but we are going in detail into it. The last usage of synchronized block is you are going to synchronize a particular class. So whenever you are synchronizing a particular class, the static members also get synchronized. Before and all, static member synchronization does not take place because they are not restricted to a particular object. So whenever we use static synchronization, class lock is acquired. Class lock is acquired. So you can see an example. I use static some synchronized some method is there, M1. Similarly, static synchronized some method is there, M2. So another normal, it is not static, normal synchronized method, M3. Okay, normal synchronized method, M3. Okay, other method, suppose M4. It is a normal method, it is not synchronized, but it is a instance method. It is a instance method. Okay, and we'll take one static method, M5. Okay, otherwise static method M5. Okay, so now this is the class. You have created one thread which want to access M1. Is that you have created a thread for this? This is a thread class, extends thread. Okay, you have created a thread which wants to access this M1. Whenever it is accessing a static method, which lock is acquired? Class lock is acquired. Class lock. Okay, so this class is locked by T1. Class is locked by T1. So now your M2 tries to enter. M2 tries to enter. Okay, now the second one. Another thread T2 is trying to access M2. T2 is trying to access M2. What happens? The class is already synchronized. This cannot enter. It should go into waiting state. It cannot do it. It cannot do it. Okay. So this before first we'll finish all the static things and then we'll go for non-static. So suppose T3 is calling the method M5. 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 So M5 is a static method. So whenever I want to access this, it is not possible. It must wait because the class is locked. I cannot use the class until T1 releases this. No other method can access the static version of this one. Okay. So now you go for M3. M3 method is accessed by another thread. Another thread. Is it allowed? It is not a static method. It is a synchronized method. Normal synchronized method means object lock. Object lock is not acquired. So this is allowed. It can enter. Similarly, you go for M4. M4. Okay, it is a normal method. It is not a synchronized method or anything, but it is an instance method because static keyword is not there. So T4, T5. So this is also allowed. It can also enter. Is that right? So this is how you are going to work. This is how you are going to take class lock and object lock. Okay, two locks are there. One is object lock and class lock. Class lock is useful whenever you are using static members. And object lock is used whenever you are